Pomni's infinite loop. One morning in the digital circus, Pomni woke up with a sense of unease, though she wasn't sure why. Her surroundings seemed normal. Well, as normal as a digital circus could be. She found her friends in the central tent, where Kane floated above them, looking suspiciously gleeful. "Good morning, everyone," Kane chimed with a wide grin. "Today, I've prepared a brand new experience for you all, a delightful little riddle to test your patience." Pomni narrowed her eyes. "What kind of riddle?" "An adventure," Kane declared. "But there's a twist. You'll be facing the same thing over and over until you solve the riddle. Exciting, isn't it?" Before anyone could argue, the tent collapsed around them, and suddenly Pomni found herself in a strange, surreal landscape, a never-ending spiral of red and white stripes. The air around her shimmered as if reality itself were bending. "What's happening?" Ragatha asked, looking around in confusion. Pomni glanced at her. "We need to solve the riddle before this gets worse." As the group walked forward, the path beneath their feet twisted and looped back on itself in confusing ways. Soon enough, they ended up right where they started. Jax, never one to lose his cool, leaned against a nearby column. "It's just a maze. We'll be out in no time." But no matter which direction they tried, they always ended up back in the same place. A spinning circus platform with glowing lights and loud carnival music that repeated endlessly. "This is maddening," Zubul muttered, kicking a nearby wall, which caused it to flicker as if it were a glitch. "It's like we're stuck in a loop." Pomni's frustration mounted with every step. "There's got to be a clue. What was that riddle Kane mentioned?" Gangle, nervously clutching her mask, chimed in. I think the answer might be right in front of us." Suddenly, Kinger, who had been unusually quiet, pointed to the sky. "The pattern of the sky, it's repeating in time with the music." Everyone stared upward. The stars overhead flashed in sync with the carnival tune that had been playing on loop. Pomni's eyes widened. "That's it. The music and the stars, they're the key. We've been walking in the wrong rhythm." The group fell silent, focusing on the beat of the music and the flashing of the stars. With each step, they followed the rhythm, and soon enough, the path changed beneath them. The loop was broken. As they emerged from the spiral, Kane appeared, clapping wildly. "Bravo, bravo! You figured it out! I knew you were smart enough to break the infinite loop." Jax shrugged. "Wasn't that hard?" Pomni sighed in relief. "Next time, just tell us the rules up front, Kane." But Kane only chuckled mischievously. Where's the fun in that? The puzzle cube. Kane had set up a new challenge in the digital circus, a massive puzzle cube that floated ominously in the center of the grounds. It had hundreds of moving parts, and the challenge was simple. Solve it to win a prize. The problem? No one had any idea how it worked. "All right, who's ready for the cube of conundrums?" Kane asked, floating excitedly above the puzzle. Jax rolled his eyes. "It's just a big block of nonsense. You're really running out of ideas, aren't you?" "Oh, ye of little faith!" Kane twirled in midair. "This is more than just a block. It's a test of wit, strategy, and patience." Pomni, always eager to escape the madness of the circus, stepped up. "I'll give it a shot." Ragatha nodded in support. "We'll figure it out together." As the two approached the cube, they noticed its surface shifting and changing. Symbols lit up and faded, while panels moved of their own accord. Kane watched with glee as Pomni hesitantly placed her hand on the puzzle. The cube immediately responded, rotating faster and faster. Pomni jumped back. "What did I do?" Jax, watching from a distance, chuckled. "Nice going." Suddenly, the cube split into several smaller cubes, each floating around the digital circus. "Oh dear," Kane said, rubbing his hands together. Now it's really a puzzle. Great, Pomni muttered, chasing after one of the floating cubes. For hours, Pomni and Ragatha tried to catch the moving pieces, only for them to dodge and weave out of reach. Jax, of course, sat on the sidelines, amused by their struggle. Finally, Pomni managed to grab hold of one of the pieces. As soon as she did, the rest of the cubes zoomed back, reassembling themselves into the original cube. The puzzle flashed once and then fell silent. "I did it?" Pomni asked, confused. Cain floated down, a sly grin on his face. "Well, sort of. The real challenge was letting the cube come to you. But don't worry, you still win." Pomni sighed, too tired to question it. "I don't even want to know what the prize is." With a snap of his fingers, Cain conjured a small digital pet, a floating, blinking ball of light. "Enjoy!" Jax burst out laughing. "All that work for a glowing ping-pong ball?" Pomni groaned. "Just another day in the circus, I guess." The Ferris wheel of fate. The digital circus had a new attraction, a massive Ferris wheel that reached far into the sky, its lights flickering in an eerie rhythm. Cain, as always, was thrilled to show off his new creation. "Step right up, step right up. Today we ride the Ferris wheel of fate." Pomni was suspicious. "What does it do?" she asked, eyeing the enormous wheel with caution. Cain giggled, his eyes twinkling. "Oh, nothing too wild. It's just a regular ride. Until it isn't. Each time the wheel stops, the person in that cart gets a surprise. Could be good, could be not so good." Ragatha, always the optimist, jumped into the nearest cart. "Come on, it'll be fun," she said, waving the others over. Kinger nervously hovered nearby, muttering something about how rides weren't safe. Despite their reservations, Pomni, Zubul, and Kinger eventually climbed aboard the massive contraption. As the wheel creaked to life, they soared high above the circus grounds, the landscape sprawling below in all its chaotic glory. For a few moments, it was peaceful, until the wheel stopped with a loud clunk. The cart containing Ragatha started to glow. Cain appeared in the sky, as though watching over them like some twisted game master. "Oh, what's behind door number 1? Suddenly, Ragatha's cart flipped upside down. But instead of falling, she floated in place, her arms flailing wildly. "What is happening?" "Anti-gravity mode," Cain cackled. The wheel started again, this time stopping at Zubul's cart. Zubul, always the unlucky one, was immediately surrounded by an ominous cloud of purple smoke. From the mist emerged a swarm of tiny, buzzing creatures. "Cain, what did you do?" "Oh, nothing much. Just a swarm of cute little digital bees," Cain said nonchalantly. Zubul frantically swatted at the bees, scowling. "You and your games." As the wheel continued to spin, it stopped on Pomni, who braced herself for something awful. But instead, a shower of confetti exploded in her cart, along with a gentle tune playing from nowhere. "Lucky you! You got the celebration cart!" Cain cheered. "Yeah, great," Pomni muttered, brushing confetti from her head. Finally, the wheel stopped at Kinger's cart. The king, already anxious, nearly jumped out when his cart began to rumble violently. Before anyone could say a word, his cart shot up into the air like a rocket, disappearing into the clouds. "Kinger, where are you going?" Pomni called after him. "I'll bring him back later." Cain waved them off. "He'll be fine. Probably." The Ferris wheel finally stopped. The ride over. But the circus residents were left shaken, and Kinger was still floating somewhere in the digital sky. Cain's color chaos. One ordinary day in the circus. Well, as ordinary as things can be, Cain decided to spice up their lives with a new game. With a snap of his fingers, he changed the rules of reality in the digital circus, turning the entire environment into a kaleidoscope of shifting colors and patterns. The sky turned to neon polka dots, the ground to vibrant plaid, and even the characters themselves glowed in ridiculous colors. Pomni looked down, horrified to find her normally monochrome outfit turned into a blinding rainbow. "Kane, what did you do to us?" she shouted, trying to shield her eyes from her own reflection. "This, my dear Pomni, is my latest game, Color Chaos." Kane floated through the air, his toothy grin wide as he admired his work. "You'll all need to find the single object that remains its original color. If you don't, you'll be stuck like this forever." Jax, the smug bunny, rolled his eyes, crossing his arms. "So we just gotta find a thing that's not flashing like a strobe light? Easy." But as the group began their search, it became clear this wasn't going to be a simple task. Everything was blinding, pulsing, and changing constantly. They split up, each heading in different directions of the circus to search for the object that could return things to normal. Pomni teamed up with Zubul, who looked at their patchwork self in complete disgust. "I look like someone spilled paint on a glitch," Zubul complained. "I think you look kinda cool," Gangle tried to say in her usual awkward optimism, but Zubul wasn't buying it. As they searched, Jax wandered lazily through the landscape. He stumbled across what looked like a small, unassuming rock, completely gray. With a shrug, he kicked it, only to watch in shock as it suddenly split open, revealing a massive Technicolor worm that shot rainbow sparks in every direction. "Of course it's never easy," he muttered, dodging the sparks. Meanwhile, Pomni, Zubul, and Gangle found themselves trapped in a bizarre maze of mirrors. Each mirror warped their appearances, making Pomni's head 5 times larger, and Zubul stretch out like a slinky. "Kane, you maniac!" Pomni yelled into the void. Finally, after hours of bizarre encounters, Zubul had turned into a glittering disco ball at one point. The group reunited. Gangle, surprisingly, had found the solution. She had a small white handkerchief that hadn't changed at all. She timidly waved it. I think this is it." Kane reappeared in a flash. "Well done," he exclaimed, returning the world to normal. "You've beaten the game, but don't worry, I have more tricks up my sleeve." Jax groaned. "Great, can't wait." The mysterious melody. One evening, as the digital circus was preparing for its nightly performance, a hauntingly beautiful melody began to play through the speakers. It was unlike anything anyone had heard before, ethereal and enchanting, yet oddly unsettling. Pomni was the first to notice the melody. "Where is that music coming from?" she asked, looking around. Kinger and Jax joined her, but the source of the melody remained a mystery. As the melody continued to play, strange things started happening. Props moved on their own, and the lights flickered in rhythm with the haunting tune. The atmosphere in the circus grew increasingly eerie, and the performers became unsettled. Zil, always calm under pressure, decided to investigate the source of the melody. With Pomni, Kinger, and Jax in tow, he followed the sound to an old hidden storage room beneath the circus tent. Inside the room, they discovered an ancient dusty music box sitting on a pedestal. The music box was intricately designed, with symbols and patterns that glowed softly. It was the source of the mysterious melody. Jax carefully examined the music box. "It's been enchanted with a complex set of algorithms," he explained. "It's creating a melody that interacts with the digital systems in the circus." As they studied the music box, they realized that it was designed to harmonize with the circus's systems, but its enchantment had become misaligned over time, causing the strange occurrences. To restore balance, the team needed to recalibrate the music box's enchantments. Pomni and Kinger worked on synchronizing the melody with the circus's systems, while Jax adjusted the digital algorithms. Zil, with his artistic touch, ensured that the melody maintained its enchanting quality. Once the recalibration was complete, the melody played harmoniously. and the circus returned to its usual vibrant self. The music box, now perfectly tuned, became a cherished artifact of the digital circus. The performers ended the night with a performance inspired by the mysterious melody, blending the haunting tune with their usual spectacular acts. The audience was entranced, and the digital circus added another magical chapter to its story.